Hello everybody, this is Shady here, and today I'm going to be doing a brand new collection video. And obviously for today, I think it's about time I talk about my GameCube collection. Obviously, I'm sure we all know this by now, but the Nintendo GameCube is like one of the hottest consoles to collect for. It's the one everyone wants a collection of. Yeah, the games are very expensive. Obviously, I'm not going to really talk about prices or anything. I think that's pointless, really. I mean, I know I have in the past, but I won't for this video. And yeah, obviously, yeah, the GameCube is amazing. I've got over 30 games here. And yeah, I really hope you like the collection. And obviously, if this is the first video you've managed to see of mine, yeah, my channel pretty much all things gaming. I'll do collection videos, occasional discussions, like playthroughs of games and all sorts. So yeah, if you like this video, why not subscribe? It really helps me out. Anyway, got the YouTube stuff out of the way. Let's just get into it. Yeah, first game in the collection, Super Mario Sunshine. So obviously, yeah, this is like the big Mario game for the GameCube. The thing with this game is, yeah, it uses this kind of interesting mechanic called Flood. You can see on the back there. Mario has that little dude behind him who basically is able to shoot water or make him float. So essentially what it is, in this game, Mario is on Delfino Island, it's called, but they're going on a holiday, and then there's all this like goo stuff that's taken over the island, and he has to kind of help clean things up. And yeah, this is a very weird one, because I think after Mario 64, people kind of like disappointed with this game. I think the whole flood mechanic is kind of a bit of a Marmite situation, or a love it or hate it type thing. And for me, I loved it. This is actually like one of my favorite Mario games. I think it's amazing. It takes a little getting used to though, but it's really cool when you do. This is kind of a thing. It's the same with Mario 64, I suppose, but yeah, a lot of the platform is very tight and can be quite difficult, but it's really good. Yeah, I just love, the water physics are insane. Yeah, the Digital Foundry did like a whole video just on water physics and games, and they do a whole episode pretty much just talking about this game. It's that amazing. But it's a great game, and yeah, I can't talk too much about it because I've got like a million games there, well, 30 odd games. Next up, another staple. We're going to go over some of the staples at first. Yeah, obviously Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah, you just have to own this game if you own a GameCube, Yes, it still stands up to this day, still is like, in the competitive scene to this day, which is insane. Obviously, if you don't know what this is basically, it's a fighting game with the Nintendo characters. So yeah, if you want to have Pikachu versus Mario versus Bowser, you can. And you've got Link and all sorts. Really cool game. The only thing is unlocking all the characters is kind of a nightmare. Yeah, if you've played Ultimate, it's so much easier. You just have to go through like, I think it's the version arcade mode, and then you unlock them. In this one, it's like you've got to do all this crazy shit. But yeah, awesome game. Must have for any GameCube owner. Next up, another Mario game. This is Mario Toadstool Tour. This is obviously the Mario Golf game. Obviously, Mario sports games are a big thing. I don't have all the sports games, but yeah, they're really cool. The GameCube one's a little bit more expensive though. But they're a real step up from the N64 versions. Yeah, if you just want a cool, chill game, this is one for you. Because there's a little bit more going on than there is in a standard, more of a simulation golf game. It's a bit more arcadey, a bit more fun. But yeah, really cool. Definitely worth picking up. Next up, Mario Kart Double Dash. For some reason, there's a sticker on here. I don't know why. I didn't buy it from whatever retailer had this. I got this from eBay. Most of these games from eBay. But yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash is the Mario Kart game for the GameCube. Yeah, pretty standard. Every Nintendo game has, well, every Nintendo console has a Mario Kart. I guess, yeah, technically, yeah. I mean, obviously the Wii U and the Switch share the same game, don't they? It's just an updated version. But yeah, this is a really cool game. Obviously, this one you have two drivers. You can switch between them, so you can kind of do a co-op type of thing as well, which is really cool. And I believe this is one of the few games that, as you can see on the back there, it uses the broadband adapter, which was like this really expensive accessory you can get for the GameCube. You attach it to the back, and obviously it allowed for some online play, but for the most part it was for like system linking. And then yeah, you can do like, up to 8 players or whatever on Mario Kart, and it's a cool thing. There was a YouTube channel, Gaming Off the Grid. They were talking about how they went to an actual tournament where they hooked all of them up like that, and they managed to get like second or something, which was really cool. They're an amazing channel if you want to check them out. A lot bigger than me, so I'm sure you have. But yeah, great game. It's Mario Kart. You can't go wrong. Next up, Star Fox Adventure. Yeah, this was a really interesting one because I'm sure everyone knows this by now, but you know it's kind of a known thing. But there was essentially Rare were developing a game called Dinosaur Planet on the N64 that kind of fell through, moved over to the GameCube, and they turned it into a Star Fox game. So it's very weird that even though it's a Star Fox game, but more in the style of a Zelda game. Very strange, really cool game. Still looks really good. Yeah, and I think you just have a lot of fun with it. You do have some bits with the where you fly around and stuff. There is also Star Fox Assault on the GameCube. I don't own that though, but really good game. Next up, another staple, Metroid Prime. Yeah, obviously the remaster is the thing now, and you know I'm sure that's the one everyone's going to play. But yeah, this is still worth getting. You know, it still like runs at a smooth 60 frames a second, looks beautiful, and yeah, obviously the only difference is, you know, the Wii version and the remaster give you the option for different controls. So if you want the Wii Remote controls, you have that version. If you want twin stick traditional FPS controls, you get the remaster. But if you don't mind the more sort of tanky, strange controls, basically you can't move and shoot is the big thing in this original version. You can still do that in the GameCube, in the remaster anyway, if you wanted to. But yeah, but it's still cool, awesome game. It's just the atmosphere is amazing. The fact that they managed to make a Metroidvania 3D, like it's a completely different perspective, but it still feels like Metroid, which is awesome. And then next up, we've got the amazing sequel. Yeah, I can't really say much more about this. It's just a better version of the first game. Yeah, the thing with the first one is it has this annoying thing where you have to collect all of these, can't remember what they're called, but you have to basically collect these 13 like ruined things. And yeah, you don't really, like you can find them as you're going, but the game doesn't tell you about them until like close to the end. Then you kind of have to run around and do it. This kind of has a little bit of a similar thing, but it's not as bad. Yeah, just really cool game. Next up, yeah, Pokemon Colosseum. So this is awesome. So I'm sure a lot of people, when they heard about this game, they thought, oh, so this is just Pokemon Stadium. No, it's not. This is a full friggin' single player adventure style Pokemon game for consoles. So it's really good. I remember I watched a Let's Play from K6 Scope back in the days, like one of my favorite Let's Plays. He doesn't really do any videos anymore. Yeah, because obviously, you know, family life and all that. But yeah, I remember watching his playthrough. This was amazing. That, like, after watching that playthrough, I had to get the game and play for it myself, and it's awesome. One really cool thing with this is it did come with a memory card. Yeah, because I guess the memory card size was quite big. So look into that when you get it. Like, I would suggest, you don't necessarily have to, but get the memory card with it if you can. It even came with little stickers as well. Someone used one of them anyway, but yeah, just a really cool game. This one has 2-on-2 battles, and you have these things called shadow Pokemon, that you have to catch. So you can't just catch any and every Pokemon, you can only catch those specific ones. And then when you do, you have to purify them to be able to use them properly and stuff. A little bit of grindiness to it in that regard, but still a really fun little game. You know, just cool to have it was cool to have like this big budget Pokemon game. There is the sequel, Gale of Darkness, but that is absolutely effing expensive. That's one of like, I think I've said this already, but yeah, GameCube is kind of crazy, and there's some games that just I'm not going to get because they're too expensive, like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Thankfully, there's remastered that, and then like Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, or whatever it's called. Like, I'm never going to pick those ones up. Next up, Eternal Darkness. Yeah, still has its stickers from CEX. So yeah, I'm never getting those off. And yeah, I got it for £18. Yeah, that's how long ago I got this. A GameCube game for under 20 quid. Actually, you can get some GameCube games cheaper, but yeah, just a really awesome horror game. Has the whole sanity meter thing. The game messes with you, makes you think the controller's disconnected, and you'll have flies on the screen, and it's really cool. You play as like these different characters in different time periods and stuff. Just a really cool, unique horror game. This 6th gen was so amazing, like the peak of horror games in my opinion, because it was so weird and experimental. You know, but they'll make a game like that. A game like that just wouldn't be made today. Here's to hoping we get a remaster of it at some point. I mean, we had, Night Dive Studios are doing Clock Tower. They just announced the friggin' Thing, PS2 original Xbox game. And yeah, why not Eternal Darkness one day? Who knows? Hopefully. Next up, got Star Wars Clone Wars. I haven't actually played this game yet. It's just when I bought my GameCube, I got it from a mate of mine, and he threw in a few games. This is one of the games he threw in. But yeah, it looks like it's just like kind of essentially a tank battle type game in the Star Wars universe. So you use like Star Wars ships and stuff instead. But yeah, hopefully I'll try it one day and it'll be good. Next up, another one, Yakuza, Reckless, the Yakuza mission. Another one I haven't actually played. It looks kind of like a Burnout type of game. Again, this was another one that you just threw in. But yeah, great game. X-Men Legends, which is basically, again, he threw this in. Not played it, but it's basically X-Men style RPG. It's a bit like those, what do you call them again? The Marvel Ultimate Alliance type games, just an X-Men themed one. This was kind of the predecessor to those games, so I'm going to play this at some point. I do love X-Men, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, and next up is a cool one. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. No, sorry, just Budokai 2, not Tenkaichi 2. It's got a shiny cover. Yeah, this is a really cool game. So obviously I originally played this on the PS2. Actually, the mate I bought the GameCube from, I remember watching him play it when he first got it. It was really cool. This one is really awesome though. I really like this game. Like, I think Tenkaichi 3 is probably better overall, or Budokai 3, sorry. I don't know why I keep calling it Tenkaichi. I mean, I prefer Tenkaichi. But yeah, this is basically just one-on-one battles, side view Dragon Ball Z game. But what's cool about this game is it had this really unique arcade mode where you basically have a grid like a chessboard, and you have to move your characters, and you have multiple characters. Really cool system. The other thing is there was some enemies you had to like beat multiple times to fully beat and stuff. But I remember you could find like power-ups and stuff, and just a really cool, interesting kind of campaign mode. Something you wouldn't expect from just some random Dragon Ball Z game. It's really cool. Okay, next up, I'm going to go over some of the next pile. I mean, you can't even see the piles, but there are piles. Well, not piles in that way. But yeah, next up, Ikaruga. Yeah, I'm sure everyone knows about this game. So this is basically a bullet hell style shmup. This one allows you to change the polarity, so you have white and black, but the black one's actually red. You can change your shields and fire rate, and then you need to be in the corresponding one to be able to block the other one. So if it's black bullets come for you, you need to have the black shield on, but you do more damage if you use the white one against the enemies that are either black or white. All very confusing, really good, really difficult game. This was originally Dreamcast and like arcade, and then there was this port. This is one of the ones that's a little bit more on the expensive side. I did get this quite recently. I just really wanted a copy of this game because it's amazing. But if you're not interested in getting this version, there is a digital version you can get on Xbox. That was an original 360 game, but it is backwards compatible, so don't worry, it's still available on the Series systems. And then you can also pick it up on the Switch as well. I don't know if it's on PS4, I think it probably is as well. But yeah, you can just pick up a digital copy for like, I think under 20 quid. This was about 40, I think, or something like that. I know I said I wasn't going to mention prices, but yeah. So it's just because I really like the game, I want to have a physical copy. So yeah, you don't need to necessarily. Still one of the best ones on the GameCube though. Next up, this is a cool game, Beach Spikers. I only picked this up again because of Gaming Off the Grid. They mentioned it was like one of their favorite pick up and play games for the GameCube. So yeah, this is a really cool like arcade volleyball game. What's cool about this is it basically just uses one button. I think this was actually an arcade game, and then this was I think this is the only console port of it. So if you want to play it, this is the only way. Yeah, it's all ladies, and you pick 2 different countries, and then you basically just have to play volleyball. A lot of fun, really cool game. And obviously, yeah, you can do up to 4 players as well, which is awesome. Because obviously the GameCube had 4 controller adapters, so yeah, really cool game. Next up, again, another like staple, Star Fox Zero. So Star Fox Zero, F-Zero GX. Yeah, so F-Zero GX. This is basically, you know, F-Zero is just like a really fast-paced racing game. And what's great about this is, well, it's good and bad, but this was the last actual F-Zero game we got. But it plays like a dream. It looks really good. It runs at like a smooth 60 frames a second. Yeah, and it's one of the absolute staples to get. This is a little bit more expensive again. So yeah, it's up to you if you really want to get it or not. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth getting. Like it's a must-have. That's kind of the thing with the GameCube. Like a lot of these are very kind of staple buys. I think, you know, with some exceptions out of the ones I've shown. Which everyone wants to get these games when they get it. It's just exactly like with the N64. That's why these games are so expensive. But yeah, really fun game. And it even has like an amazing campaign mode with like a proper story and everything. Okay, and then we're going to save those ones for a bit. Yeah, I'm going to show you next up another good fighting game, Soul Calibur 2. Yeah, this was obviously for original Xbox, PS2 and GameCube. This one's cool because as you can see it has Link. Still my favorite Soul Calibur game has this amazing Weapon Master mode. So essentially this is a weapon-based fighting game. Was originally Soul Blade on the PS1, then you had Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast and Soul Calibur 2, this one, and then I think we're up to 6 now. There hasn't been one for years though. I think the 6th one was on PS3 or something. I don't think it made it to the PS4 generation. Fun game. Yeah, I love playing this Nightmare Mitsurugi. Yeah, all the characters are cool. As I said, Weapon Master mode is amazing because you basically it adds almost this RPG mechanic to it where you're kind of fighting all these enemies and stuff. So really cool. Yeah, great game. Next up, got to show an RPG. That's Tales of Symphonia. Yeah, I got this one because obviously everyone knows this game's been remastered, but the remaster version, it does add a lot of cool stuff, but it reduced the game to 30 frames a second. That was the PS2 version. And the problem is, every version of the game after that has been based off that version. So it's always 30 frames, even like the latest remasters that are on like, you know, PS4. I don't know if it's on Xbox One and on Switch. So yeah, pick up this version if you want, you know, just a fun game. Obviously, yeah, being an RPG, it's on 2 discs, so I'll just say no. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm sure they'll include both discs, but it's always good to let people know that sort of stuff. Yeah, just a really fun little RPG. Obviously, the Tales of series are like action RPGs, so you know, if you're not really a fan of turn-based combat, I'd say give this a go. Even if you are, I think it's worth it. You know, it has the cool anime style. Yeah, it's one of those series that it's really good, but it's never really hit the heights of like a Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. But it's up there with those series, in my opinion, and definitely worth playing. Yeah, give this one a go. I'm sure a lot of people have probably played Tales of Arise. Like that's a really solid game. So yeah, I'd say try this. Obviously you got Vesperia as well, Tales of Vesperia. Those are probably the next 2 you should try out if you played Arise. Okay, next up, we got Sonic Adventure Battle 2. This, thankfully my mate added this one as well, which is cool, to when I first bought the GameCube off him. Yeah, this is just, so basically, obviously this was the weirdest thing ever, but obviously Sega kind of dipped out of the console space with the failure of the Dreamcast. And the first couple of games they ported were Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I feel like Sonic Adventure 2 was the first one that was ported, because yeah, obviously it was one of the later games that came out. And yeah, this is the battle version, so it just adds a few extra bits and stuff. And yeah, you can also get Sonic Adventure 1 on here. I don't own a GameCube copy of Sonic Adventure 1. I do want to pick it up though. I think that's also called Battle as well. And then yeah, these versions are the ones that, the HD versions that were on PS3 and 360 were based off. I'm not sure if you can even pick those versions up now. I think, well, you can play Sonic Adventure 1 on the Xbox Series systems. So that is backwards compatible. So I think you can either buy it off the store, or if you have the the Dreamcast collection, you can chuck it in. I don't know why I'm talking about Xbox on a GameCube video, but I am. But yeah, really fun game. Obviously this one you have the light heroes and dark heroes. You switch between the characters, so you'll do a Sonic level, a Knuckles level, a Tails level, and then you have Shadow, Rouge, and Robotnik, and they basically play exactly the same either side. Sonic is your traditional levels, like the adventure zones from Sonic Adventure. The Knuckles ones are just finding the 3 crystals of complete level, like a search type of thing. And then the Tails ones are where you're shooting with a mech. Really fun little game, run and gun type of gameplay. Really cool. I still prefer Sonic Adventure 1 because it has a little bit more variation with the different modes, and I like playing the separate campaigns, but still really good. Okay, next up, PN03. Yes, this was one of the games in the Capcom 5. I've mentioned the Capcom 5 a few times, I think. Basically, it was meant to be 5 games released specifically for the GameCube. So it was this, RE4, Beautiful Joe, what was the other one? There was one that was cancelled, and it was Killer 7. The one that was cancelled was like Forbidden Planet or Kingdom or something. It just, yeah, it looked like a fantasy type game. This is a really weird game. So this is what I guess people call the butt game. It's basically just this lady who's kind of dancing around shooting robots. You shoot beams out. It plays almost like a little bit like a Returnal type of game almost, but not quite, because you can't. I don't think you can move and shoot at the same time. And it's all about dodging and shooting. It's very rhythmic in a way, I suppose. Yeah, a little can be a little frustrating because you have to there's a steep learning curve to the controls. and even early on, it's quite easy to die, but still a really fun game. One of the ones you should pick up, a little bit cheaper as well. Next up, yeah, okay, so this is one of my favorites in my collection. Yes, so Skies of Arcadia Legends. So obviously this was originally on the Dreamcast, and this was another one of the games that was ported over. So this was basically like an updated version, basically version 2 of Skies of Arcadia. Adds a couple of extra characters, a bunch of new content, some quality of life changes. I think balancing as well. It's a little bit easier in terms of like the amount of experience and stuff you get, so it's not as grindy. Yeah, just a solid, amazing RPG. I haven't actually played this particular version yet. I played the Dreamcast version, but yeah, I'm going to give this one a go. I picked it up early this year, and yeah, this is not cheap though. I will say that. So it's really up to you if you want to get it. I want to get it because I really love the game, and I just want to play this version. And yeah, I'm also crazy as well. So you know, bit impulsive, I think. Yeah, that's Game Collectors, I suppose. Next up, yeah, before we talk about the last few, obviously we've got the Resident Evil games. I've done my entire Resident Evil collection. Basically had a bunch of Resident Evil games on the GameCube. I had Resident Evil 0. This was originally an N64 game, then was obviously cancelled and eventually came back as this game on the GameCube. What's really cool about this one is we play as both Billy and Rebecca, and we can switch between them on the fly. Just at the press of a button is really cool, even regardless of what rooms they're in. The only annoying thing is there's no item box. So you have to just drop items. You can see where they are on the map, but you have to drop items and re-pick them up. It's really stupid. Yeah, it's annoying because you know, you have to remember which, you know, if you accidentally drop the wrong item like a key, you're gonna have to run back quite far to get it. Yeah, it's a really stupid design, but still a fun game, really fun game. There is the remaster as well, so yeah, you don't necessarily need this version. And obviously, one of my favorite games of all time, Resident Evil Remake. Yeah, I've done like a couple of playthroughs of this on my channel. That's how much I love it. I'll probably do another one at some point. This is just one of those games that I play at least once a year. I just love it. It's everything a remake should be, in my opinion. You know, the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 remakes are all amazing as well. RE3 isn't as good. It's not bad. But yeah, this is the gold standard of remakes. Just, you know, just takes everything from the original and makes it better, in my opinion. Yeah, and then obviously Resident Evil 2, this is not a remake, obviously this is just a port of the PS1 version. This is a really cool one because it's all on a single thing. Yeah, so you just get, at the start you choose either Leon or Claire, and then you kind of continue from there. Amazing game. I think everyone knows that already. Resident Evil 3, one of my favorites of the classic PS1 games. Yeah, just amazing as well. These ones, yeah, these Resident Evil games are a little bit more expensive. 0 and Remake are cheaper, but yeah, these other ones are a little bit up there in price. Yeah, Code Veronica, yeah, one of my favorite versions of the game. Yeah, so this is the Code Veronica X version. As everyone knows, there was the original Dreamcast version. Yeah, there's a lot of Dreamcast ports on the GameCube, isn't there? There was the original Dreamcast version. Then there was an updated version called Code Veronica X. Did come to Dreamcast, but only in Japan. But the PS2 got the worldwide release was on PS2, and then obviously they ported it again here. Just a great game. A little bit longer as well. Can be a bit challenging in comparison. Really solid game though. It's the one that I've yeah, 0 and like Code Veronica are the ones I've played the least out of these classic Resident Evil games. I need to play them more. And obviously, you know, one of the greatest, Resident Evil 4. I still have such a soft spot for this original version. I think it's playing it on the GameCube controller for me is always going to be the best way to play this original RE4. Yeah, it's really great. Obviously, this version is the bare bones version, so you don't get separate ways or I think the Plaga gun or whatever it's called in some of the costumes. But yeah, I think 2 of the costumes are added in, but still a really cool version. Next up, I'm going to talk about one of my favorites, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. This is a great time to talk about it as well because obviously we finally got a gameplay reveal of MGS3 Delta, or Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which is the remake of the 3rd game. That looks like it's doing like pretty much the same thing. It's going to be the exact same game, but just updated graphics and gameplay. This one though is completely different because essentially Kojima kind of oversaw the project, and I can't remember the name of the director. Basically, it was the same guy who did Versus and Godzilla Final Wars, is just Japanese director. He got to do all the cutscenes, so they're very like over the top and different in tone. I like to describe this as like, it almost feels like the movie version of Metal Gear Solid in a way. This is the closest thing we have to like the Hollywood movie version. It's so like crazy because you have like Snake doing backflips and like bullet time stuff and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's really fun. But it still is Metal Gear Solid. You know, it's a very different tone. There's this really irritating thing online I've noticed where people are trying to convince everyone that this is a bad remake when it's not. Like, don't listen to that bullshit, okay? I'm going to go off on a little rant now, but this is something I really effing hate with YouTube, where, you know, you'll have a game that's good or okay. Some bloody YouTuber decides, I don't like this game, so I'm going to make a video saying it's objectively bad, even though it's just a bloody opinion. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, the same thing happened with Donkey Kong 64, you know, games like Final Fantasy 13 and all this, you know. Just play this game, okay? It's a great game, okay? And then the final ones in the collection, these are some of my favorites. So we got, Zelda Master Quest. This I got up recently, Zelda Ocarina of Time bonus disc. So this was both, this is Ocarina of Time and the Master Quest. This is so strange. So this was basically a pre-order bonus for people who got Wind Waker. And yeah, then they later released it as a separate thing as well. So next up we have the Zelda collection. So this is a really interesting one. So this basically is a disc that includes Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. This one doesn't include Master Quest though, but it's all four of those games on a single disc, which is really cool. They're not the best versions though, still really cool. And then obviously, yeah, Wind Waker, you know, just a solid game. People have kind of turned around to this game now and realised it's awesome. Toon Link kind of put a lot of people off after Twilight Princess, but it's really good. Oh, not Twilight Princess, after Ocarina of Time. Really good game though, definitely worth playing. This one was meant to have that second disc, there's older disc in it, so I think they did also bundle them together or something. But yeah, I didn't have that, unfortunately. And then the final one, Zelda Twilight Princess. This one has really gone up in price. A lot of people don't realise that. Zelda Twilight Princess also came to the GameCube and the Wii at the same time, just like with Breath of the Wild on Wii U and Switch. So yeah, this is kind of the sought after Zelda game. So yeah, this one's going to cost you a pretty penny. So I can't really suggest people go out to buy this particular version because you also have the Wii U HD version and you have the Wii U version. So like, unless you're just a really hardcore GameCube collector, I couldn't really suggest it. Still worth buying though, I think, if you're a Zelda fan, obviously, and it's still a staple for the GameCube. Like, if you're only playing GameCube, it's really good to have. But yeah, that is the collection of my GameCube games. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, a lot of these games I actually picked up before GameCube got even more insane. Yeah, it's one of them systems that I don't think is ever going to come down. It's only going to get more expensive. So yeah, I would say just jump on it now. One of my little tips though is don't just buy the first one you find, okay? Shop around a bit. You will find some deals here and there. You know, it's just, don't just be impulsive when it comes to your purchases. You know, eBay's not the only place to go. And yeah, just happy hunting as always. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And yeah, like I said, like and subscribe if you really want to. Have a great day.